So round 4 in AmPro here, and for the first time in 3 races, I'm not on the front row of the grid. 2 newcomers joining us, Ugoni and Jack. But yeah, I did struggle in qualifying, 6/10 off P4, but 8/10 clear of P6. But we are underway here in China as I get a decent start, maintain P5. No one's really alongside me here. I go back to the racing line and take the wider line. Ugoni goes wide onto the grass as he gets on the dirty side of the track, and I capitalise, get P4 and try and get a good exit out of turns 3 and 4 to try and get Womax, but it's not quite enough. He maintains P3, I am P4 at the end of lap 1 here. As you can see, it is very much the top 5. Agasti from Ricardo, from Womax, from myself, from Jack, and then a big gap to behind. And lap 3, surprisingly, I can keep up with the top 3. I was not expecting that. I thought I would have been by myself, too fast for the cars behind, but the cars in front of me have too much pace. But that is not the case here early on. Womax gets a tang slapper, and he gets onto the grass, giving me P3 very easily. And at this point of the race, I'm flying. My fastest lap time is 1:38.6, matching race pace. And lap 4 here, surprisingly, I am catching Ricardo. I mean, that's unbelievable. My pace at the start of the race was incredible, really. I did not expect this race pace. Usually my race pace is way off my qualifying pace. But I thought at the start of the race, I really did shine in terms of my race pace unexpectedly. And here you can see Ricardo is weaving around, trying to break the slipstream, going from the inside to the outside. I take the inside line into this hairpin of turn 14 and 15, and I get the move done. P2, unbelievable. I could not believe it at this point of the race, as I thought I'd be nowhere near podium, but at the moment it's been a brilliant start. I'm only 4 seconds off Agasti, who's in the lead. But here, battling behind, Womax has overtaken Ricardo, and he's side by side going to the fast turn 1 and 2. He inches ahead, but I hug the inside of turns 1 and 2, which brings my car ahead. I position my car nicely. He tries to get the switchback move, but I block him. So beautiful work there. I'm really pleased, and I had a lot of fun battling in the early stages with the really fast guys, wheel to wheel. Yeah, it was insane. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Probably one of the best battles I've had this season. Probably the best battle early on in this first stint of the Chinese Grand Prix. Lap 5 here, as you can see, I can't really pull away from the pack. Maybe it's tyre wear, I don't know what it is, but for some reason my pace that I had in laps 2, 3 and 4 were not as great. Ricardo's gaining on me, but way too far back into the hairpin of turn 14 to make a move. But I run wide as I defend the inside line, and we're side by side into the last corner of turn 16, a fast left-hander, and I get the apex point absolutely spot on. Very important I don't run off wide onto that runoff tarmac, which loses you a lot of time as Ricardo's attacking me at the DRS straight now, but I take the inside line. Very important not to understeer into him, but I defend it nicely. So brilliant stuff there. Defending valiantly and for my life for this position. A podium would be brilliant at a track like China. I thought I'd be nowhere near the podium in the dry. But here you can see all this battling between myself, Ricardo, and Womax has brought in Jack into play, the newcomer in the Toro Rosso, and now I'm leading a train of 3 cars behind as I get a shocking run out of the end of sector 2 and into sector 3 onto that long DRS straight. Ricardo's in striking distance now, and he blasts past me with DRS. No point really defending the inside line. He would be way past. You can see he's a car length in front of me already as he's in the way of my racing line as I miss my braking point completely, and Womax gets a great exit. We're side by side into turn 16 again with another car, and I'd get the inside line, maintain P3 here, but Womax is on the charge. Onto lap 7 now here, as looks like I'm turning in now. Womax or Jack is not far enough in front of me, but I get tagged and I lose a hell of a lot of time. I've got gravel all over my tyres. I don't know if it was Womax or Jack, actually. Initially, I thought it was Jack because the Toro Rosso blasted past me, but I don't know. I'm going to have another look from different people's onboards there. but very disappointing because I was really in the mix there, and that kind of killed me really, because my tyres were absolutely flat there. Jack spins and at turn 6, giving me P4 as I pit at the end of that lap, because my tyres were absolutely dead after that, after running wide onto the marbles and into the gravel. Lap 11, my pace is flying here. At the moment, I'm 6.3 ahead of Jack, so on course for a really steady P4. But lap 18, in 7 laps, Jack has brought the gap. It was 1 second before we pit, up to 6 seconds, and now it's down to 1 second, and Alessio is behind. He's flying now, and he has overtaken Jack. And at this point, Womack has disconnected, so us three are fighting for the last podium position. At lap 19 now, I've been on these prime tyres for 12 laps, and it's time to come in, nearly run wide at the pit entry, very difficult pit entry, and all three of us pit at the same time for fresh option tyres, and it's a sprint to the end. Lap 22, Jack has overtaken Alessio, and he is furiously chasing after me, and a DRS pass, very easy for him. My pace was absolutely shocking towards the end of the prime stint, and even more shocking at the start of the option stint. As you can see, my fastest lap time from lap 2 still standing. Yeah, despite a great start of the race pace, I just bottled it really. The pressure of a podium may be getting to me. Lap 28 here, I'm absolutely nowhere really, and I'm wrestling the car like an octopus. So much oversteer. And yeah, that has been the story of the race really. That last lap kind of summarizes up my struggles in the second and third stint. But here are the results and the driver standings now. Jack with an excellent start, moving way up to P10 already. But Womack's disconnection means that Riccardo and Augusti, who had his first win, close up. I am 19 points behind the leader. We've got a real battle up here for the Drivers' Championship. Despite Womack's disconnection, Lotus still outscored the field, and it's looking very bleak for the rest of the field really. But yeah, very clear gaps between P1, P2, P3 and P4. So yeah, really enjoyable race, but I mean really disappointing at the end, because the promise I showed at the start of the race just didn't deliver in the second and third stints.